Hello, hello, hello there, my crafty beds. It's your crafty bed Peggy, and welcome to Stormy's Imagination Station. Guys, it's time to meet the horses. Several of y'all really enjoy hearing stories a little bit about me and my hubby's adventures on the backside. And then I'm doing this for a couple of my friends that'll see this in case they want to get some of these pictures from the past. So let's get on with it, guys. Guys, on the front cover here, of course, that's a picture of me and Mark whenever we first met. We were both really young there. And this is a picture of me with this horse called Chief Thief. Guys, Chief Thief came to me. Oh, my Lord, I didn't know what happened to him. He didn't have no hair on his back or his legs or anything. He was in terrible shape. And I got to working on him and got his hair to grow back in. And he looked like a copper penny after it all come back. So, you know, it was really exciting to work on him. That was the first time I'd ever encountered a horse with that much problems before, so it was really cool. Anyways, guys, I think I pulled this pull out over here before. Just one of the trainers that I used to work for and stuff, so we'll just move on. Guys, this one here is called It's Fun. This was a picture of me and my foster sisters at Ellis Park years and years ago with my sister's husband's horse that he invested in, and this picture's been through it, as you can tell. And he won that day, and we were all over there and stuff, and that was, I guess, kind of the start of it right there. That was, oh my gosh, what year was this? That was 1987, so anyways, that was, it's fun, it was. Then we've got Bandit Proof. Now this was Mark before I met him, one of the stables that he was working for, and this guy here won for him. He was working for Glenn Hill. Everybody called him Daddy Stacker. And then here's Hurry I've Got It, which is another one of Daddy Stacker's horses. And this was back whenever it started. Gosh, guys, this was back in, again, this was 1989 right here. Then over here, guys, we've got the Meadowlands, and I've got that in there for a reason, because that's where me and Mark met. And this is like a backside shot of the track there. It's split with the, we call them the jugheads. It's the standard breds, the buggies, and then the rest of the year it's with the thoroughbreds. So we split the track, and they shut it down and do all kinds of work on it and stuff, and it's just it's a big deal right there. And then back here we've got, this is a horse. Now this wasn't Mark holding this guy, but this is Mark's horse, Dewana Penny. He was so beautiful up close. This horse was like the darkest bay ever, just a touch below black he was. He was just beautiful, beautiful horse. And then we've got me and Shakey's Pleasure here, and this was in 1989. And this is me and Sylvester Valentine and Carol Murray. And Shakey's Pleasure, how I got Shake, man. He was one of these horses that Sylvester said, don't hit the horse, to the guy that was taking care of him, this guy named Lee. And Lee come in hungover one morning, and Shecky was the type of horse that whenever you went into his stall, you ducked to the left because both barrels was coming to the right. Not so much that he wanted to kick you, that was just his that was his greeting. And I would give him part of my Dr. Pepper and my bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich every morning until time for him to run. And Carol would tell me to back off. But anyways, he come in drunk one morning, hungover, and he kicked at Lee whenever he went into the stall there. And so he tied him to the back wall, and you heard him pop him. He slapped him in the neck. Well, when he did that, Shake Man broke his tie chain and come off the wall, which is a generally piece of bungee cord you tie to the back of the stall and to the bottom of their halter to keep them steady there while you put their saddle and tack on them to get them ready in the morning. And anyway, Shecky broke his. And he come off the wall, and Lee thought he was going to be all right whenever he ran out in the shed roll. Well, Shecky ran right through the crossbar, which crossed the door of his stall, and proceeded to chase Lee around the barn. Ears pinned, nostrils flared, would have probably shook him like a rag doll had he gotten a hold of him. Me and Sylvester is on the ground laughing so hard we can't help catch the horse. I have never seen a horse chase a dude around the barn. I'm telling you, he'd have kicked his butt if he'd got a hold of him. So anyways, he quit right there on the spot, and I wound up with the Sheck Man. And of course, I understood Shecky, and him and I never had that problem, but I will never forget that as long as I live. That was so funny. Here's Mark with Eastern Bullet. This is one that he just ran. This was in 1991. And this was Garden State Park. We was in New Jersey here. And this was Eastern Bullet again. And this guy here used to just train the horse out in his field. Nothing special. He'd bring her in to run and she'd win. Oh, man. And then here was another one that he took care of, Quiet Pro. And there I am in my leather and stuff. And this again was in 1991, I want to say. And that again's Garden State Park. And this again was just another one that he just trained him out in the field. Sometimes he said he'd just tie a lead rope to him and hold on to him out the window of the truck and just run them around out there in the field. And that was how he would train them. And he'd bring them in and they'd win. That's insane, isn't it? I'll tell you. Now that this here is Ninja Attack. Now this horse here, oh my gosh. This dude came to me. He was an Alydar. And anybody that knows anything about the Alydars know that they've got a little demon in them. And this dude here had a lot of demon in him. And he ripped the shirt off my back and spit it out at me one day. He backed up and guarded the stall against me. And he had a bad groom in Florida. And they sent him to us here at Garden State Park. And I got him. And he was just a rogue. He was just a rogue. Any of you... you know what I mean? He was terrible. He would bite you. He would stomp you. He would try to kick you. He was done with folks. And this day here, trying to hold him in the winner's circle, you can see by the look on my face, I'm not pleased with him. He had struck at me and tried to stomp me before the picture was taken. He was awful. But as you see, he won all by himself there. You know, he could run, you know, so you put up with him. But yeah, he was really something else. That was 1991. This one here is called Come On Doc, and this is a gray horse that I took care of here. And he was a hoot too, this one. He won for us there at Garden State Park. I loved him. He was an awesome gray. Some of y'all love the grays. Here's one called Court Hugger. Now guys, this one here, the owners... would come in and she had to have a full screen. She was another one. She would pop you. She would bite you. She didn't care. And they would take turns shoving each other up there. You go see her. No, you go see her. No, I'm not going to go see her. You go see her. Because she'd come out and she'd try to snake you. Ching, she'd go. Here's the win with Mark. This is Dream Irish. This was back in 1990. In fact, we got 90 and 91 in there. This was a good outfit. This was the Pearls Wigs. They really cared about their horses and stuff. And, you know, they were just like us. A lot of them end up turning into pets. And this one here's Miss Uncle Albert. Now, this horse here, she was a classy dame. She really was. But she had the longest face I have ever seen on a horse. You could really tell she was a horse. You know, she was a lot of fun, though. She was a lady. You know, you get to knowing their temperaments and stuff like that, and she was a lady. And then this was a big horse for Sylvester, and we were all in the picture that day, me and Mark, and there's Carol, and there's Sil holding Idea Q. And this was the Garden State Park purse there back in 1990, and Sil was really proud of old Idea Q. He was still running. I forget, I think he was... How old was Q boy there? He was about 6, I guess. He just loved to run. and that was a lot of fun there. That was kind of the start of it right there, the start of whenever me and Mark met. And again, to make this album, guys, I used the Off to the Races pack by Graphic 45. If you didn't see the first video of this, that's what I used. And I just did some special pops throughout it and added a lot of embellishments and stuff that was made for me with a challenge. But this is more about the horses, guys. So this is what we're doing. Now, guys, this is Misty Wagon. This is my favorite horse right here. I loved him. I got him as a 2-year-old. And everything in the barn had out-trained him. And nobody really wanted Misty, and he knew it. And he was down on himself. And when I got Misty, him and I became friends. And he won 3 races for me there. And he really got to where he loved to run and get his picture took. He started becoming a ham bone. And he liked to get his picture took. And if he didn't get his picture took, then he'd get to mooning, you know. But I used to tease him, and I'd say, "Are you the fastest and the strongest one?" And he'd get to burring at me, and he'd get to pawing, you know, and stuff. And it got so I had to go out and pick him big buckets full of fresh grass and stuff. I couldn't take him out and graze him anymore because he was getting so high strung. He'd want to rear up and buck and stuff, which, you know, he felt good, but I was scared he's going to hurt himself. So I had to start picking him some grass. And here he is again. This is in 1992. Me holding Misty. I couldn't be prouder of him there. He went all by himself that day. And like I said, he just got better and better. You know, they get to be like your kids and stuff. You know, you get into their head. You get to understand. And they have days just like us and stuff. And that was Misty. And he knew nobody liked him and stuff until I come along. And then we got Bad Fast. This is another one of my old hard knockers. He had one good leg, God love him, but he loved to race, and he'd give you everything he had. And his name was Bad Fast. And we ran him at Louisiana Downs. And that's old Bad Daddy there, I used to call him. He was something else. Whew, boy, he'd stand in his knee tub. He had to stand in a big old tub full of ice water. For his legs, you know, to keep the inflammation down and stuff like that. And he'd stand there and munch on ice while he was standing there. They always said they didn't like to eat ice and stuff. Yes, he did. He loved to chew on ice chips. And then here's one that Mark had called Moonface. And we called her Moon Pie in Your Eye. And she went at Oaklawn Park here. And there she is. These here are early years, guys. I'm kind of going through them real fast. This was back in the day. I was working for Mr. Gene Norman whenever he was alive. He's passed away now, him and his son here. We won the Clean Barn Award one week. We had it going on. We were winning races, and our barn looked good and everything. And here was the motley crew back then. There we all were. And we won a big award, you know, and we had a cookout, I think. That was back in 1992 also. It's just something fun that we do. And, of course, this one sitting here is another picture of Misty Wagon, again, with another one of his awesome wins for me there. And, like I said, he won 3 there and just kept getting better and better. You know, he wanted to be the fastest and the strongest one, you know, and he started feeling like a horse, and, you know. And this little girl here's name's Jo Lamy, and we got her to win this day. Bless her heart, she's scared, not so much scared, but she pissed Calvin Burrell off a couple of times whenever he got on her. She'd try to throw him over the inside rail, and he finally won with her, and she tried to pull it this day here too, but he finally got her to win. And she was just a little lady in the barn, but whenever you took her out to race, she just went to pieces, boy, and she didn't know what she was doing. She didn't know whether to left turn Clyde or what. You know, it was just insane. And in this one here, Misty Wagon had a crush on this little filly right here. Now, Misty Wagon was a gelding, which means he wasn't a stud anymore. He should not have been looking at a filly. But he would climb his walls and nicker to her on the backside. And we had to put sheet wall on his whole stall wall to keep him from climbing the walls. There was a little piece of wood that went around the wall, and he would stick his toe grabs from his racing shoes in it and pull himself up on the wall so he could look over and nicker to her. And her name was Copper Pop. and she was beautiful. In the shed row and stuff, she was a real dark bay, and she had these big, gorgeous dapples all over her, like healthy spots in her coat. A lot of y'all know what a dapple is. She was beautiful, and Misty thought so too, and even though he was a gelding, he still climbed the walls to talk to her until we fixed him from, and then he just talked to her through the wall. Now this one here, this is Explosive Silence, guys. That the big horse here, this was Mark's horse, and he didn't get to go run her that day. Mr. Gene and his son took her to Ellis Park, and she won the $100,000 Audubon Oaks this day. And Mark didn't get a go, like I said, but this was his big horse, Explosive Silence. And that was a nice race, $100,000 stake race. That's really good. Me, I had more of the cheaper old horses. You know, I was a girl. On the backside, you have to prove yourself, you know, especially if you're a girl. So I didn't get none of the big stake horses or anything like that. But the horses I got, I wouldn't have traded for $1,000,000. Then we've got Count Java. This is one of Mark's horses as well. And he was just, he just liked to do his thing, you know. He was like, get in here, get me cleaned off, get my bandages on, rub my feet, pick my feet, and get out. You know, I'm done with you. That was kind of him. And Count Java, so I Java cupped him. He was really cool. Big, good-looking horse he was. Guys, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful weekend thus far. Thank you so much for being here and sharing in the scoping out of the horses. This is a lot of memories here, and I said I would share it with you. Guys, this again was another one of Mark's horses. He was somewhere else running another horse, and so this was one of our friends. Ran Time to Part for him. This was just a $10,000 purse here at the fairgrounds. Mark had to go somewhere else and run another horse that was a little bit more higher caliber than this one. So, but he won 2 races that day. It was really cool. He was out of town with one, and then he won with that one. I didn't even think to put them all together. Guys, this was me here at Oaklawn again. I was still working for the Normans. This was a little $7,500 purse with a little 2-year-old I had here called Assembly Time. And you couldn't put no bandages on her legs or anything like that. I always used to tease her and call her "No Disassemble Me." She didn't like anything at all, and it was all we could do to get these on here. But the fronts wasn't happening. I'm telling you right now, she was just that kind of filly. And I'd tease her and call her "No Disassemble Me." You know, like Johnny Five, that Short Circuit, I think it is, that movie. "No Disassemble Me." She didn't want you touching her, you know, so don't. Pick my feet and get out of here. Here's one of Mark's big horses. Here he was working for Sam David. This here's Mahida's JP2. Big, good-looking horse. Another one here. And this was back in 93. We're up to 93 now. Guys, we went everywhere. This here is Louisiana Downs, as you can see there. It's in Louisiana, right outside of Shreveport. Here he is again, another Sam David horse, Northern Lombardy. This was a $9,600 purse. I just love these. A lot of memories. It's hard to believe that this was once my life, y'all. Then we've got Northern Lombardy again, and then as you see, that was one of Mark's favorite. He's given the kiss on the nose like I did with Misty Wagon. You know, you get to loving these animals. You know, it's one of the reasons that I am not with the track. To me, it's a heartbreaking business, so I had to get out. Here he is with Max Flashy Cane. Again, this was New Orleans down there at the fairgrounds. This was a $7,000 purse, and here we all are. Sometimes you look at some of your old pics, don't you, and go, gosh, who was that person? You know, I look at me back then in my 20s and go, who was that girl? Woo! Wish I was little like that again now, I'll tell you. And know what I know now, I'd be dangerous, huh? Wouldn't you all? Yes, indeed. Then we've got some of the these are the pull downs that I did, and then we've got pictures here. There's Miss Bayou Plans right there, and this was the pony. He even got his legs done up, and we took care of him just like we did the rest of the horses. And these were just some of the horses from the shed roll. Getting a bath out there, standing there looking out of their stall after they're done. There's old Windsor Fire. Look at her. She'd shake around in there, and can you see her little foretop? Her hair's all shaking in the air. She was a fiery old mare. I used to say it looked like she had a fire on her head. Then you've got the players here chewing at you. Howdy do. Look how handsome, huh? Aren't they gorgeous? Look at that. This one here's name was Sundup. He was an old stake horse in his day, and he wound up with flap problems in his throat. And he was going to the farm then, and I just got him in my stalls. I had lost one of my horses, and he was there in his transition to the farm. And I felt like $1 million just to have him in one of my stalls, you know, because like I said, he was a classy stake horse. And they were fixing to do an operation on his throat to fix his flaps. And I was like, oh my God, I get to have Sundup in my stalls. And then guys, we've got the pull out here that I was showing you. These are a lot of fun to make. I had a blast making this. It's just a tag holder is all this is up here for this. And this is another horse standing here getting a bath. And this is just a morning at the barn, y'all. You know, we're training, and then they have to have a bath and cooled out and everything. This is one of the guys walking the horse in the shed roll there. And that's the life of the racehorse. You know, they go out and they run, and they come home, and they have to get a bath and cleaned up and everything, and they get fed, and then they just relax. This is me in the stall, scoping one of them out, you know. There's one of my babies laid out. This one here is Mr. Blackwell, guys. Not a white hair on his body. I wanted a win picture with him so bad I could taste it. He couldn't outrun me or you. But as a hunter jumper, the price just kept getting higher. They said he was a hell of a hunter jumper. But, I mean, look how gorgeous he is. Isn't he beautiful? Mr. Blackwell. They named him right. He was a handsome fellow. Like I said, I wanted a win picture with him so bad. This is another one of my babies, like I said, and then getting held for a bath there. A lot of fun. I love these guys so much. I miss them. I really do. I don't miss all the BS of the track, but I do miss my horses terribly. And then this one here doesn't have nothing in it. I need to split up the... Alright, this one here, this is Pleasant High, guys. And this was my big mare, my chance at having a stake horse. And Pleasant High... Here, I was out having surgery. This is her training. She's coming back one day with Evan. I was working for an outfit called Richie Scherer. Now then, guys, this is your chance to scope out some of these pictures, Evan and Lisa. They had moved the poles, and she stepped in a hole this day, winning, and died, and I was home laid up with surgery, and, yeah. Really loved her. She was classy, classy mare. And then this is one of my friend's tags. This was made by Second Chance Creations by Krista. Made this awesome tag right here, and I just thought it was in here. She had lifetime earnings of over $200,000. She was a really, really classy dame, too. She was one of them you could tell she was a filly. You know, she acted like a lady, you know. They all have their little attitudes and temperaments. Then this is the barn. This was Richie's outfit out there. And here we are. This was one of the exercise riders, and he owned peacocks. Little baby peacocks. And they was running loose there on the backside. So I had pictures of the peacocks. And then again, this is just a day in the life. Being cooled out in the shed roll there. Being held for a bath. There they are. It's the double mint twins, we called them. One had a bump over one eye, and one had a bump over the other eye. And then there's one of the horses in the stall there, and then there's training, or going to race day there, actually. And then, yeah, here we are at the races, and there's me after a bad day at work. I did not have a good day. I think I lost that day or something, but there's a beautiful sunset there. This was Arlington in Chicago, guys. Arlington Racetrack in Chicago there. And then this is one of the tack rooms. This is Mark in one of the tack rooms there. And some of the cats that we had. You can have cats on the backside, but no dogs. One of the trucks that we ended up being able to buy. And again, we're on the backside of Arlington. He was so proud of that truck there. We was finally able to get a truck. And then, yeah, I've got all of my pictures all bunched up in one. Then we've got Blonde Moment here. Now, she was another one of my good horses. This one here won 2 races in 7 days for us in Kentucky. And there's a big article about her winning the debutante. There she is in her stall. And then here she is winning the Woodlands debutante right here. Evan took her up there. And she won both races. Really awesome. And then there's her racing career I have down there. And then here is Evan on Seajam's Dancer, Keeneland, Kentucky. And she's coming back from a day of training there. And I'm going to get this in as big as I can. I hope that don't turn out blurry, Evan. If you want a copy of that. I love that picture. And this is, I've got Evan's name on here, all magnetized and stuff so that I can tell about her. I really love this picture. That's one of my favoriteest pictures. It's hard for me not to start crying. Keeneland is so beautiful, you guys. That is one of the most beautiful backsides in Kentucky, I think. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's open to the public. They can go back there whenever you're saddling the horses and stuff. And it's just, the backside is beautiful. The barn area is all open and stuff. It's just gorgeous. Then we've got Windsor Fire. Windsor Fire won for $25,000 this day. This was at Arlington, and she went handily that day. And there's Evan holding back there at the back of her. We all carried her over there that day, and she won. There's Windsor. Trying to hold these a little extra, like I said, so that the girls can get a pick if they want. There's Color Me Rosie. There's Richie and Evan and Mark. And Richie has passed away, guys. And so I'm kind of doing this. Let's see if I can get this without the blur. I'm trying to do this so if the girls want a picture, they can get one off of this, you know what I mean? And I can try to take one and put it on Facebook or something, guys, if you want me to. Here's J.W. Dusty. This is Richie, Evan, Mark. Zeta is here. I also think Zeta might have passed. I think I was reading something that Z's gone. There's this one. I'm trying not to get that shine in there. They're so shiny. There we go. Okay. Then we have old Dinah Ryan here. He was an awesome horse. This is a good shot as well. Let's see if we can get this without that shine. Dang. It's so shiny. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. And again, here's that picture of Evan and Seajam's Dancer. Because I don't know if she has a copy of this or not. I hope that one's a good one. Alright. Really love this little filly. She was so cutie. And then I have a picture of me with her here in Kentucky. And there we are. We was fixing to race that day. And then here's another one of me in the shed row, and you could, and then Evan's like right here in this picture. We're waiting to race. Sitting in the barn waiting to race. And then let's see what's in here. Here's one of Bayou in Kentucky. This is the backside of Keeneland, guys. That's one of the barns. Look at that, where you saddle in the paddock area. Isn't that beautiful? And it's all outside like that, and it's all open to the public. Look how gorgeous that is. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? I just love it. Here's another barn area shot. Isn't that nice back there? The views are just stunning. I just love it. The whole surrounding area and everything is just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous, y'all. This was views outside the barn and stuff. And then this is the surrounding area. This is some of the little creeks and stuff that's around the track there, just walking down the sidewalks and stuff. I used to go walking every day after morning chores. That's more of the backside there, one of the walking rings. Here's some more of the barn area. I just love it there, man. It is horse country. It's so beautiful. That's a couple of the dogs there. You actually could have dogs in the tack room there. Of course, they had to be orderly. A couple of the trainers did. It wasn't a widely wanted thing, you know. But if they were, you know, orderly and stuff. Then we have J.W. Dusty. Here's a good one here of Mark with one of his horses. J.W. Dusty. And then we have, this is Calumet Farm here, going up to the farm door there and stuff. And I was going to get a tour. She was going to give me a tour, but she had an actual paying tour that was coming in. And she was so wanting to show me, she found out I was over at the track and stuff. But like I said, she had a paying tour going on, and I didn't get to take it. But here is some of the shots out there, Calumet Farm, that I was able to get. There's some of the horses coming over to me and stuff. And then out there. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. As far as the eye can see, y'all, it's nothing but beautiful farms. Just land and barns and stuff out there. Just gorgeous, gorgeous. Some of the best horses has come out of Calumet Farm. I mean, it's just a beautiful place. Just a wonderful, wonderful place to be. I had a great time there. And then here's some more. We've got some more of the horses out there. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? I just loved it. Had a great time. I was up there for like 3 months. So I was out and about every day. In fact, Evan's mom bought me a backpack because I was out walking every day, and I kept that thing. I used that sucker until it fell apart, man. She got it for me for Christmas. She said, Peggy's always walking. I see her every day walking down the street after morning chores. Yep, I'd be out scoping out the farms. I just love it. So that was that. Calumet Farm and the surrounding area. I think this turned out so good, don't y'all? Let's see what I've got in here. Now then, this right here, guys, I've told y'all this before. This is a castle sitting there about a country block from the track. And this is an actual castle, y'all, that was moved by Lee Majors for Farrah Fawcett when they were dating. And it's an actual castle from Scotland. And it's just sitting in the middle of a cow field. And it's just crazy. It's got the towers and everything. I mean, you see that right there. Is that not a hoot? I hear now it's open as a museum up there. I'm really thrilled about that they're doing something with that, because I kept thinking, gosh, what a waste, man. I'd love to go in there and check that out. You know, I got pictures from through the gate. You know, you wasn't allowed. So, anyways. And then here's... Oh, whoops, I pulled it the wrong way. Here is Glare Ice. And this is one that I know Lisa will be thrilled with right here. Glare Ice originally was Lisa's horse. And Lisa had a bad back, and Lisa was having a hard time taking care of her horses and stuff. She was in a lot of pain and everything, and I wound up with glare eyes. And she went right after I got her from Lisa. And Lisa, there we are. There you are behind me there. I hope this comes out. There's Richie, Evan, there's everybody. Okay, I'm trying not to get that shiny so you can zoom in on that. And if it didn't, just holler at me on Facebook and I'll do these zoom in, guys, where you can get a copy of these. And anyways, she won, and I always said that was Lisa's win because she was taking care of glare. And anyways, and then there's Instant Charmer. I was working for Jan Ely then, and she won for me. And this one, boy, she was a rogue. Huh, she about pulled me down in the mud trying to get her over there to the track. And then there's Morks. I run the show. And then I've got some spaces open back here. We have Urgent Action. He was a pretty good horse right there. I loved him a lot too. They named him right. He had Urgent Action, buddy. He could turn it on coming down the stretch. And he was a very classy little horse too. He wasn't a rogue or anything. And there we are again with old Urgent Action. He just loved to run, he did. He was all business, he was, I'll tell you. He just was like, do me up and leave me alone. Give him my feed. Hello. Then here's Mark with Senior Sky. That's another one with Richie. And then here's a good one here, Country Joe, that Evan might like. And she went handily by herself too. I think that one there's a good one. And then I've got some extra room in my pockets here, guys, for more stuff. I've got more tags back here. I think I've come across another horse in the other room. I forgot to bring it. But guys, that's the horses. And that's like a whole lifetime right there. From like 1988 to 1997 there, worth of pictures. So that was like a whole lifetime. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Evan and Lisa, I hope you guys was able to get some good pictures there if you want those. And again, guys, thank you so much for being here and scoping this out. I know this was a long video, but I wanted you guys to have a chance to meet the horses. So guys, until the next time, be crafty, be cool, and I'll see you when I'm looking at you, alright? Bye-bye.